Welcome, downtown Leesburg, Crowbar Gym, Hansel Conroy. No longer. All right, everyone. Put a little intro there. All right. It's a little status on Crowbar Gym. We are locked down, and that's what we are doing right now. No more customers. Even though technically we only do one-on-one here. We did group, no more group classes. Not that it was getting super big anyways, because most group classes around here were 3 to the room. Eventually, I think in the future, we'll probably be able to do 6 just because we have the machines here, and then we also have the ARX as well. As you can see, the ARX, this way. See the ARX is behind me. And today, so it's been, I guess I'm a little late in the game, but I think it's good because I've seen everybody pretty much already do what they're doing in a sense of online training, training people through Zoom and just giving out workouts and stuff like that. And what I'm going to do is just, this is great because, don't kill your gains is what it's called, and then up here it's listed as doing more is killing your gains. And in reality, yes, a lot of work technically does diminish strength, and also it diminishes what we consider to be hypertrophy or growth or muscle growth if that's what you're doing. So depending on what you're doing, most people want to grow more muscle. And mind you, there is a genetic threshold that you can do. Doesn't mean you can't get to it. But especially if you're natural, a lot of it really just takes hard work. Okay. I also see a lot of people like, I don't know what to do. And so, I'm going to have actually like this little chart here that I'm putting up so you guys can see it. All right, here we go. Probably a little bit hard to read, right? But I'll read it to you, and then I'll take a picture of it, and I'll also post it. And it's kind of like the main key points on what we do here in high-intensity training. And high-intensity training in reality doesn't really mean fast-moving training. So, right. So just to mind you that any tool can be used for lifting, okay? If you have nothing out there, like a lot of people running out to getting home gyms and stuff like that. If you can, dumbbells are great. I mean, the guys in the golden era all the way up to the 1920s and even beyond then, they just had bars. They just had some steel. And steel is really, I call it steel because that's the term. But dumbbells are really good. Clubs are great. The only problem is that is really, really old school. And you probably see me swing those before. But dumbbells can be technically, you can always add weight, meaning you can go up in weight. Okay. Calisthenics are also good too as well. All right. So using calisthenics. Now, when it really comes to all this, I'm going to get down to all the aspects of this is that so technically, let's see, we're going to get out of order a little bit. But technically what you need is tension and max effort. Okay. Let's see if I can get this out here. Okay. Right. So tension and max effort is really the key to technically lifting appropriately. Okay. So what is tension? Tension is technically any time where you're exerting some kind of energy. Okay. You need to exert energy. What I see most people doing right now on the internet is everybody just moving around and just moving weight around, but no one's doing any tension work. Okay. That's not good. You're not going to get anything from that because all you're doing is just getting tired and you're not really affecting the muscle cell. Max effort means max effort can mean a variety of different things, but intensity or max effort of your failure. You have to get to failure. The muscle has to be tired. Okay. And there's a couple of things you can do to do that. That can be either through volume or it can be done through, tension. Okay. But max effort means also to lifting weight. You have to have the right proper weight. Your effort needs to be maximal. Okay. Now we have to protect the organism. Okay. So as we see some guys lifting too heavy, okay, and some guys are lifting too light, and the same thing with women as well. They're lifting too light and then not enough. There's just like a ratio. All right. So then there's also range of motion. Okay. Range of motion. Let's see if we can get it out here. All right. Range of motion is tremendously important. because in reality, you don't really need full ranges of motion. It's actually a fallacy. There's a really good book out there written by Doug McGuff, and then there's Body by Science is a book. I mean, it's like a whole bunch of other people that have done this, and you can research it. You don't technically need full ranges of motion to get better gains. Okay, and now eventually I'm going to post some workouts that will illustrate that, and I'll show you on the RX too how I make people here feel like they're running a mile just by pressing the platform, and all they're doing is still in the semi 90-degree angle of a squat. Okay, and they feel like they just ran 3 or 4 blocks on the street, right? So then momentum, you have to technically get rid of momentum. Now, momentum does play a role in some workouts, okay, specifically like doing powerlifting, stuff like that, but those are objectives, okay? You can do it in a bodybuilding type of workout and some other workouts, depend on the purpose, but we're trying to talk to the average person here who's just trying to get into working out, especially if you're a trainer. Momentum is evil, okay? Momentum, unfortunately, doesn't really equate or add to real strength, okay? You need that time under tension, okay, that's going to affect the muscle cell, all right? And I'll tell you how that works once we talk about, using ratios. Proper weight, okay? All right, so proper weight is important, all right? So if you're lifting too light, okay, let's take a push-up, for example, and let's say you do 100 push-ups. That's great. You just adapted doing 100 push-ups. In reality, once you get past, 50 to 25 push-ups, you should add like 10-pound weight and put it on your back or put a band on or something of that nature. And then that way you can still get even stronger, more endurance from doing the calisthenics, okay? If you're trying to get more endurance, it's a little bit higher, but we'll talk about that in a couple seconds. But the idea is that you need resistance. Adaptability is evil. You need to technically constantly, not adapt to the workout. That's why AeroX is so effective. All the tools here can be done in that way. It's just programming is tremendously important. Everybody else is like, hey, just do squats and lunges and all this other nonsense, but they're not giving you the goods. Well, a lot of it is really because they want to program for you. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, it takes a long time to program sometimes for somebody. But here is some of the basic stuff. You need tension, effort, range of motion. It's not too important. Okay, momentum, cut that out. All right, proper weight. And so how do you get proper weight? Well, it's very simple. If you have dumbbells, okay, this is what you can use. You can do like a 10 rep max, you can do a 5 rep max, or a 3 rep max. That's it. And then what you do is you times that by 75%, and that's a good weight to use. Okay. So, also too, in the sense of, let's say you don't have dumbbells, you can use a sandbag. And I've loaded a sandbag up to 200 to 300 pounds, and I had increments of little sandbags. You can get bands now, increments of 10 pounds. You see what I'm saying? So, if you're especially if you're lifting weight, okay, if you're getting past 20 repetitions, you need to up that weight. That's more like endurance. 15 is more like endurance. If you're trying to get a little bit more strength out of it, then that means that less lifting. It's going to be like 3 to 5 repetitions of lifting to, from 5 to 10, something around there. And that's good. These are rep ranges, and they're not set in stone. Okay. Anytime you feel it's too easy, guess what? Do another round. Okay. Do another set. Okay. Because we want to get to muscular failure. Okay. Workouts versus every day. Okay. So high intensity versus volume, and then working out every day. Now, I suggest if you're going to work out every day, you should work out every day for just kind of general maintenance, because we sit around anyways, right? And you should work out every day, like, especially if it's an easy workout, with 25% to 50% of your effort. So let's say you lift around, let's say you're squatting with 100 pounds. Let's throw that in there, right? And it takes you, you do 8 repetitions with it, 8 to 10. Well, cut that to 50 pounds to 30 pounds, and then you can do every day. You can do some squats for general fitness and some just kind of it expels the energy stores and things like that. It makes you feel good, gets your blood going. But in reality, if you do a really good workout, you can do it 3 times a week. You can do multiple splits. But I suggest you do all body, at first, see where you're at, and then you want to do high intensity versus volume. Well, high intensity means is that you're doing 1 or 2 reps. Like, you can sometimes mix it up. to kind of get, okay, one or two, not two reps, one or two rounds, okay, of your workout, okay. Volume means you're doing like, threes, 3x3s, 5x5s, you're doing sevens, 7 rounds. That's a lot of volume. And there's nothing wrong with that. You don't really need to do that much. You can kind of be in between if you use tension work, max effort, okay. And we'll be showing some workouts in here on how that works. And that's right. And I wrote down here where it says STBH. Okay. It has to be hard. Okay. It can't be easy. If it's easy, that means your workout sucked. It needs to be hard every time you go into your own gym. Okay. It has to be hard. It doesn't have to be hard every day, but you have to have one good day where it's super hard. And then every else has to be like 80% of your effort. Okay. All right. Diminished adaptation. Okay. So that's diminished adaptation. Let's see if we can get in here. You can see that bottom. All right. So diminishing adaptation is important. We don't want to adapt because that's when your workout gets, I had a guy in here and he pretty much was like, well, I lift weights too. I lift every day. And then he's still not making any effort or any gain. And I'm like, well, let's look at your numbers. So what we did is we did a max and then we times it by 75%. And then we got our workout weight. Okay. And that's just one way of doing it. And then it was a lot harder. It was a lot tougher. And then and a lot of it is because we're always constantly, adjusting the weight, adjusting the reps, or adjusting the intensity. Okay. And there's always ways to confuse the muscle to technically squeeze every ounce of energy that we can. So diminish adaptation, strength versus hypertrophy. Okay. Strength versus hypertrophy. If you technically are lifting more for strength, you want to cut it down a little bit. You don't want to do so many reps. All right. You want to take breaks in between because you're trying to achieve strength. You want all your energy to be technically harnessed for to lifting as much as possible. But mind you, there's a drawback with that. Okay. The drawback is how much are we able to protect the organism, us. So if you're lifting more than you can and then you hurt yourself and you're out for 6 months, that's no good. And that's really what we don't do in here. Now, the ARX allows me to technically lift as hard as possible. Bands are another good one as well. And with proper technique, you can also lift very, very heavy if that's what you like to do. But remember, don't get into ego lifting, okay? Eventually, you can get there. You can get to the numbers if you do it progressively, okay? Hypertrophy, that's just breaking down the muscle. Now, what's the variable, okay? The variable is you, okay? So for me, my back is tore up from the Marine Corps. At the end of the day, I only do one round of probably, I would say maybe like 10 repetitions. And every time, and then that gives me recovery. And, that gives me the ability to technically heal my back. Without anything more than that, I'm out for 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? But the beauty about it is I can lift with my back. I can lift with 300 pounds now. I can do a back extension on the machine. Okay, so I'm not doing this with free weights. On a machine with a lot of tension. And it doesn't affect my back. And then when I'm out there doing sports or martial arts or whatever, it doesn't hurt me anymore. It doesn't go out. All right. So that's what you want. You always want to protect the organism. Okay. The variable is you. Okay. Okay. What did we got? Muscular failure versus weights and body weights. Okay. So like I said, any tool can be used. All right. Eventually you don't want to adapt. Eventually your calisthenics, you'll adapt to them. You need bands. You need weight. You need something. So you want to adapt. Okay. And then we use a little ratio in here. So while I like using time, okay, I like using time for a workout. Let's bring it over here. I like using time for a workout versus reps and sets. Okay. So try this out. I'm going to just give you a nice little quick workout. Try a push-up hold. It's just get the 90 degrees and the push-up hold, right? And then do a wall sit, do an air squat, and then do yourself a lunge. And then from there, okay, if you have a pull-up bar or something like that, or somewhere you can pull yourself up, do either a row or a pull-up and just do holds, okay? And then see if you can get to 45 seconds, okay? So if you can get to 45 seconds, that's strength. Eventually, you wanna for hypertrophy, you wanna get past 45 to a minute. So the 45 technically is for upper body. In the minute, okay, we're using time. The minute's for lower body, okay? And that's the breakdown for hypertrophy. If you have to do 2 sets, that's good. that may be that that you have adapted and you need a little bit of weight. So because of calisthenics, just start with 10 pounds and see if you can do 45 seconds for upper body, and then for lower body, a minute. Okay. Strength endurance. So if you really want to do some strength endurance in there, you can do this interchangeably, by the way. You can do 1 day strength endurance and then 1 day where you're doing only what is it called? Max efforts, meaning like for strength, right? So your strength endurance can be a minute and 30, and that can be for the whole body. Okay, for the whole body. All right. We call the other one down here for, like, I'm talking about like a lot of endurance. So you can't replace running, but you can definitely get super strong for running, because that's what runners need. They need strength. And imagine, you're on a rower and you can pull 400 pounds and row. You're going to be a lot quicker than the person who can only pull 100 pounds on the row. So strength equals endurance. Okay. You just need to get there. So right now it's called global conditioning is what we call it in here. Okay. That's 2 minutes to 3 minutes. That's pretty brutal. But you can adapt to getting there, especially if you're doing with calisthenics. With weights, a little bit different. So hopefully that helps everybody. Crowbar Gym is we're just keeping it calm. If you guys have any questions, I'm going to list the website, the emails on there. I'm also going to list. I'm still trying to figure out the StreamYard. I'm going to list the phone as well, and comments down at the bottom. And if you want me to program for you, I can. And it's in a lot of it is, at the end of the day, everybody should have even myself, I like to have a coach. So I go periodically through different coaches and I do different things, and I have other people coach, because you can't see everything that you're doing, because at the end of the day, you want to technically adapt, you want to be adaptable. So you don't want to work as hard as you possibly can. So you need that third party to really push you. And that's why coaches are really good. So I also, just to keep everybody in the industry rolling and keep that, that flow of money moving around and stuff like that, still go out and, buy and buy things and have relationships online and stuff like that. I know we're in just trying times right now, and but it's going to get good. Trust me, it's really not that bad. I've been in some real bad places when it was Marine. So this is good. I mean, the fact that I can go down the street and get some pho and, and get myself a cookie, and then, I can still get some vegan food. I'm doing good. And so I'm not bad. And the fact that I can talk to you online, it means we're doing really great, and we can still have connections with people. So hopefully everybody has like a trainer now, and they, remember, you can get sandbags if you don't have any money. You can get yourself bands. There's lots of used goods. I guarantee you the used place down the street that has all the weights and stuff like that have been used. You can go there and buy a bunch of dumbbells, for a good amount of, for a price. You don't need more than 50 pounds. Then you just graduate to more. And that's all you need. And if you guys have any questions, you're more than free to, go down to the comments. I read the comments. Okay. All right. Crowbar Gym out. Peace and harmony. Let's see if I can end this broadcast.